Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your boy, TheCarringtonBrown. Now, look, one thing that I'm tired of when I'm working with clients or when I'm speaking at events and doing Q&As is people defining and labeling love as a feeling, right? Yes, love feels like something, but more importantly, love is a choice and a commitment. And so what I want to do today is I want to talk to you guys about the 3 experiences of a relationship. And when I say the 3 experiences, I'm talking about love, lust, and infatuation, right? And so I want to talk about these 3 experiences because I want you to be better educated or have more understanding about what these feelings could be that I'm feeling in my relationship, right, as I'm dating this individual. And so if you don't get anything else, this is what I need you to understand about these 3 things. I need you to understand that love gives, lust takes, and infatuation is temporary. Right. Once again, love gives, love is a giver, lust takes, it's a taker, and infatuation is temporary. Right. So let's talk real quick. And let's start with infatuation because it's in the middle. So infatuation stage or the infatuation stage or phase of the relationship is that initial stage when you first meet somebody, right? That puppy love, that brand new love, that butterflies, that excitement, that, oh, we go to sleep on the phone, on 1 hang up, on 3 hang up, no, you hang up, no, you hang up, on 3 hang up. That's infatuation stage where you see that individual as perfect. They're always on your mind. You're always thinking about them. And in your mind, once again, in perspective, like they're perfect, they're flawless, they're amazing. That's the infatuation stage. And the infatuation stage is experienced by anybody who has ever been in a relationship. Here's the challenge with the infatuation stage. If you don't intentionally invest in your relationship, the infatuation stage can last up to 6 years, which means that you could be in a relationship with somebody for 6 years and it still not have moved from where it was when y'all first met. That's a problem. So infatuation is temporary, and which means that you're only supposed to be in this season for a short amount of time. But even after you extend it to 6 years, that'll determine even still where it's going to go. Now, infatuation is neutral because it's in the middle, and it's what happens when you first get in a relationship. How you respond in your relationship, what you do in your relationship, how you pursue your relationship, that determines whether your relationship elevates to love or it lowers to lust, right? Now let's talk about lust. Now lust takes, lust is a taker. So when we talk about lust, lust is to pursue something with a selfish desire, right? All you're thinking about is what you want, what you're trying to get out of it, right? So when we talk about, for example, sex. Sex is a form of lust, not just because sex is like 2 individuals having intercourse together or being physically intimate together, but sex is a form of lust because majority of the time, especially when you're not married, that individuals are having sex, they're doing it from a place of, hey, let me get what I want. Like you're not even focused on the other individual. You're fully focused on yourself. When you talk about business with the perspective that a lot of people have nowadays, business is a form of lust. Why? Because sometimes people get into partnerships and make agreements just out of the perspective of what can you do for me, right? So when we talk about lust, I like to relate it to a consumer mindset because a consumer mindset says, what can you do for me? Not what can I do or create or give to you. So lust is a taker and it's a bad thing. And how you get to lust after the infatuation stage is to not intentionally invest in the relationship through communication, through spending time together and really learning and growing and knowing each other, right? So that leads to lust. When you allow yourself especially when you introduce sex early. When you introduce sex earlier, when you introduce sleeping over each other's houses early, that causes the relationship to transition from infatuation to lust, when lust is all about taking and what can I get. Now, let's go to love. When we talk about love, love gives, love is a giver. And I believe the greatest example of love was Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ went to the cross as an expression of love. He said, I'm going to die for the sins of everybody that will ever touch this earth, just so that they can be reconciled back to a phenomenal relationship with love, so they can have an access or an open line of communication with love because they desire or they need to experience love. And the foundation and the creator of love, God, he desires to love them. Right. And so love gives, right, which is why as an individual, me, myself, I'm married, beautiful children. When you really love somebody, you sacrifice, you give, you say, hey, what do they need? Let me put them before me. Let me do this, not because it's the most convenient thing for me, but because it'll make their life more convenient. And the way that you get to love in a relationship is by being intentional with the growth, being intentional with the development, being intentional with conversations, being intentional with communication, allowing yourself to be transparent, but most importantly, having the foundation of the relationship be the rock. And when I say the rock, I'm talking about God, I'm talking about Jesus Christ. So in order for you to experience true love, you have to understand that God has to be at the foundation, and you have to be intentional about the growth and the development of this relationship. Now, when I talked about initially saying, I'm tired of people talking about love and relating it to a feeling, the reason why I wanted to talk to you or discuss love, lust, and infatuation is because a lot of times they all feel the same way. A lot of times lust feels like love feels like infatuation, and infatuation feels like lust. Because it's all the excitement, the butterflies, the heart beating fast, they all feel the same, which is why people get confused about where they actually are, which is why I gave you these tips on how to recognize what season or what space you're in. So now, after listening to this video or watching this video, you can step back, think about your relationship, and ask yourself, what have we been investing in this relationship? Have we truly been communicating and growing with each other? Have we really put God as the foundation of this relationship? What is actually leading us? Or did we introduce sex too soon? Did we start sleeping with each other too soon? Did we introduce sleeping over each other's houses too soon? Like when we're around each other, what is it that we do? What is it that we're always trying to pursue? Like what type of conversations do we have? Right? So that's what I want you to do, and that's my challenge for you. When you finish with this video, I want you to assess your relationship, and I want you to ask yourself, hey, which one of these spaces am I in? Am I in infatuation? Have I allowed my relationship to lower down to lust? Or have I invested to the point where it's elevated or elevating to an experience with love? Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning into this video. I look forward. Matter of fact, in the description box below, after you think about that, be honest. Let me know in the description box where your relationship is. Are we in love? Are we in lust? Or is it just infatuation? I look forward to seeing y'all responses. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace out, y'all.